What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away. Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Welcome to the Throttle Up Racing Network. Tonight, we're back with Gadgit Solutions Next Gen Cup Series, and we are at Nashville Superspeedway. Now, Superspeedway in the name, only in Nashville, is this track actually races much smaller. Going to be a lot of braking going into the turns. iRacing's done quite a bit of updating to this next gen car, so we'll have to see how it drives here tonight. Take a look at the points. Gary Cronwet there in the blue. He has won. He is on to the next round. We've got 11 drivers fighting for 7 spots. Landon Lacey, Kayla McCarthy, James Fox, Simon Grills, Brandon Browning, Garrett Fox, and Wesley Jeanette all currently in above that cutoff line. Jason Blaney, Quentin Clark, Adam Brown, and Enzo Haceta on the outside looking in. Of course, a win will lock any of these drivers in, but we'll be looking for that points line to get in and out as we're heading to qualifying right now. The number 9 of Adam Brown. James Fox out on the track as well. Simon Grills second quick in the number 8 car. Grills kind of run that higher line. James Fox top of the board. Enzo Haceta going out on track. Haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, but he's out there tonight fighting for his championship chances. Wesley Jeanette, the 74, rolling on his first lap. Wesley Jeanette 5th quickest on his first lap. James Fox still the quickest. Oh, as Wesley Jeanette hits that outside wall coming off turn 4. We may see that several times tonight. Cars pushing up out of the corner right up to that outside wall. Garrett Fox, he's coming out trying to warm those tires up. Here's Gary Cronwet, the number 88. He is the only one safe right now, as he does have that win to fall back on. Cronwet top of the board at 30.71. Garrett Fox normally very quick. Let's see what time he puts down. Garrett Fox on the first lap, a half second off. See if he can pick it up on his second time around here in the 85. Right down to that bottom, you see going to be a lot of heavy braking into these corners. Are a lot tighter than they look. This concrete surface. Second quick for Garrett Fox. Quentin Clark will start his first lap. Clark on the second lap. He goes down below that off the surface and almost to the pole. 0.02 the difference between him and pole sitter Cronenwet. Brandon Browning's out on the track, as well as Jason Blaney and Landon Lacey. Blaney will come up 7th quickest on his first lap. William Bartholomew qualifies 10th so far. Landon Lacey 3rd quick. Lacey pick up any on his second lap. He does a little bit. He'll qualify 3rd right now. Browning on his first lap, 8th quickest. Browning 7th quick. They're around that cut line. Some of these drivers that we'll be watching tonight. Simon Grills, Brandon Browning, Garrett Fox, Wesley Jeanette, Jason Blaney, and Quentin Clark, all within about 6 points of each other. 4 of those in, 2 of them out right now. It's going to be exciting as Nathan Lyon comes a little too hot through the corner, goes up to the outside wall. McCarthy will come around to start her first timed lap. Almost sounds like she might be shifting. Let's take a ride with McCarthy. Down to 4th gear, yeah. Shifting into the corners, trying to get a better run. More power down the straightaway. Ninth quickest there for McCarthy. Trying to get a bigger run back down the front stretch. That'll move her to 4th quick. We are about to the end of qualifying. Here's Brayton Laster, John Anderson, and Matthew Montgomery choosing not to qualify. Cronenwet will be your pole sitter, though, in that number 88. Got about 10 seconds left. Let's take one more look at the playoff standings. You see they're in 5th place. Simon Grills, Brandon Browning, Garrett Fox, Wesley Jeanette, all at 553, 552, 552, 552. They're all in right now. And Jason Blaney with 550. And Quentin Clark at 547. So about 6 points separates from 5th to 10th, right around that cut line. So it's going to be an exciting race. We're going to have 2 stages throughout the night for chances for people to get points. But right now, we're going to go through your grid.
Living every day in your head for free. You can tap away, but I will not hear you scream. You can break the keys, spread your toxicity, your world outside reality.
Starting from the pole position. Last week's winner locked into the next round. It's Gary Cronenwet in the number 88. Outside pole, Quentin Clark in the number 94. Starting in third position, Landon Lacey in the 53. Caleb McCarthy will roll off from the fourth position. Jason Blaney in fifth in the number 22. Garrett Fox in sixth in that number 85. James Fox in the 58. He'll start seventh position. Brandon Browning in the 48. He will start in eighth. In ninth is the number 9 of Adam Brown, running a KISS scheme, one of my favorite bands. Enzo Haceta in the number 14. He'll start 10th tonight. He's going to have to win to get to the next round. Simon Grills, the number 8. He'll start in 11th position. Wesley Jeanette will be right behind him in the 12th spot. In 13th is William Bartholomew, the number 15. Nathan Lying will start in 14th. 15th, Matthew Montgomery in the number 2. And behind him is Brayton Lasser in the number 13. And rounding out the field, John Anderson in the 56. The drivers start to roll out on to the track. We'll take a look at today's race info. This track 1.3 miles. I know it says Super Speedway, but don't let that fool you. 1.3 miles is how far this track is. 97 degrees is the track temp, 78 on the ambient temperature. So 97 degrees, that should be a lot of grip for these drivers to race side by side. And as we get ready to go, this is going to be a good one. Crowd here in Nashville up on their feet, getting ready for the start of this one. Green flag for Gary Cronenwit. Blaney sends it in a little hard, washes up the track a little bit. Clark able to get through. Trying to get a big run down the backstretch. Clark will clear Blaney into the third position. Blaney now with another big run. He's going to get back to the inside of the 94. Blaney now trying to find his way through. Oh, Clark back to the inside, crossed him up. This time he's going to bring James Fox along with him. Side by side through the corner, Clark trying not to wash up into the number 22 there. These cars look like they're quite tight off exit. Blaney's able to hold the position there for third. As Cronenwit and Lacey begin to pull away. Five cars in this battle for second position. Clark trying to find his way around Blaney. Blaney may have a little bit of an advantage here. He's going to try and gap this 94 as much as he can. James Fox looking to the inside of the 94. He's going to try and make a run up on the fourth position. Oh, McCarthy with a move and Fox with a block down into turn 3. Stage 1 will be at the end of lap 50. Stage 2 will be at the end of lap 100. Like the 56 of Anderson was able to get out onto the track, but he's slow on the inside. Clark trying his best to find a way around this 22. He's gotten right back to the bumper. I definitely think we're going to be seeing some tire wear here. And it'll take about 15 or 20 laps for that tire wear to really start showing who's really pushing their cars a little more than they need to right now. It's James Fox, a big dive down into the corner. Trying to catch his way up. Garrett Fox up to 6th. McCarthy's lost 3 positions. She's back to 7th position. Oh, Clark gets washed up the track. And Clark's going to lose several positions all the way back to 7th, back behind McCarthy. Let's take another look at that. Yeah, looks like Clark just got a little loose and shot it up the track. So Clark will drop back to 7th position. The top 7 have a little bit of a gap. There's Brandon Browning racing with Simon Grills for the 8th and 9th position, but they've got a little distance between them and those cars in front of them. And there you can see the gap. As James Fox has caught the 22 of Blaney. He's going to try and make a move. iRacing did update these cars to the 670 horsepower package. There's probably a little more horsepower off these corners. Fox getting into the corner hard. Landon Lacey trying to reel in our leader Cronenwet. You see that gap starting to shrink quite a bit. Lacey taking that high entrance and arcing it back down to the bottom. I think that's probably the best line for tire wear. Cronenwet trying to keep him from getting a draft down the backstretch. Lacey right there. This battle for third still hot back here. Blaney's holding on. Blaney giving a little bit more of an arc through the corner. James Fox trying to get it to the inside. It's a 3-car race now for the 3rd position as Garrett Fox is caught up. Quentin Clark's able to work his way back around McCarthy for the 6th position. Oh, and we've got Cronenwet around. Up into the outside wall, no caution yet. We'll take a look at what happened. We'll see if Cronenwet will get rolling. No caution. Kind of insane that there's no caution. A car sitting right there on the outside wall. Let's take a look at what happened to Gary Cronenwet here. Out of the corner, just gets sideways, overcorrects. Landon Lacey's able to get around him, but see that extra horsepower. You come out of this corner, you hit it a little too hard. It's going to send you around like that. So Cronenwet will drop all the way to 16th, and he is thankful that he's got that win last week to fall back on. Doesn't have to really worry about making it to that next round. But this is a good look for Landon Lacey as he's out front. He's going to be getting points for some laps led. Blaney still holding on to that second spot. James Fox looking to the inside. He's not close enough to really make enough of a move. Can Garrett Fox try and get up here and grit around that 58? This field quite spread out right now. Looks like McCarthy, she may have burned those tires up or something already as she is falling prey to this next group. Brandon Browning looking to work his way up to McCarthy. Running a very good line right around the bottom of the track, trying to hug that yellow line on the bottom. And he is reeling in McCarthy pretty quick. They got that pass for the third position. Blaney sideways. He'll drop back to fourth. James Fox and Garrett Fox move to second and third. You see Blaney driving it through there. He's sideways off the corner on exit. And he does have some right side damage that must have gotten into that outside wall. And both James Fox and Garrett Fox are able to get by. Quentin Clark, he's right behind these guys, hanging in there in the fifth position as Caleb McCarthy continues to fall backwards. Brandon Browning is right there now. He's looking to the inside. Browning also shifting into fourth. Browning will get around McCarthy. That's the pass for sixth position. McCarthy continuing to slip backwards here in the Blaster 150. Quentin Clark has been able to get around Jason Blaney. Looks like Blaney's still having some issues from that contact with the outside wall. Clark will move back into the fourth position. James Fox and Garrett Fox working together, holding on to that second and third position right now. Not racing each other too hard, just trying to hold on. Garrett Fox, though, trying to make a look to the inside. Oh, Garrett right to the back bumper. James As they go through 1 and 2, Garrett trying to get another stage point. James Fox actually about 11 points to the good coming into this race. Garrett, though, only 2 points over the cut line. Quentin Clark's actually 5 points out right now. Landon Lacey will come down for his first pit stop. That'll give James Fox a lap lead. Garrett trying to pass by on the outside. Clark into the pit lane, out of the 4th position. Trying to short pit, maybe get an advantage. Kayla McCarthy, she tries to come in. Let's back that up slightly. Her and the 48. Oh, the 8 must have touched her a little bit. And the 48 locks it up. Neither one able to make the pit lane, but the 48 and the 48 and the 24 will have to go back around another lap. Here comes our leader, James Fox and Garrett Fox. Jason Blaney in the pit lane. Simon Grills will come in. Wesley Jeanette will stay out to lead a lap. Now Jeanette will come in. Nathan Line will take the lead when they come back around. Landon Lacey is already pulled out way ahead. Quentin Clark will be second once all these pit stops cycle through. James Fox third. Garrett Fox in 4th. Of course, currently scored 11th. Nathan Line. I think he's about to pit. Enzo Haceta right behind him. There's going to be the pass for the lead. Haceta stays out, leads the lap. Matthew Montgomery, he's still out there in the 2nd spot. Cronenwet yet to pit. I think he's going to stay out as long as he can. Maybe try some pit strategy to get back up there at the end of the stage. Haceta still out there. Brayton Laster's in 4th. He's yet to pit. It sounds like Enzo might be trying to save fuel. Yeah, clutching it into the corner. So Haceta trying to save fuel. Not sure how short he's going to be. Gonna have to make it about 16 more laps. So the top four yet to pit. Montgomery there in second. Doesn't sound like he's trying to save. Cronenwick currently in the third position. Brayton Laster in fourth. In that number 13, he's trying his best to try and make it to the end of the stage. That right behind them, the battle. Actually, McCarthy is currently 15th. A lap down. Trying to find the speed. She just hasn't been able to find it here today. Currently would finish outside of the stage points, so McCarthy really needs to try and find a way to get 5 more positions. The 15 of Bartholomew will pit. And here comes Cronenwick now down the pit lane. "12 laps from the end of the stage." We'll see how much further Enzo Haceta can make it. We saw that he was trying to save fuel. Chooses not to pit that time around. Haceta stays out on the track again. Bartholomew gonna have to come back down the pit lane for some reason. Landon Lacey has moved up into the 4th position, and Cronenwick really is gonna want to try and get around Lacey. Because that will for sure trap him 1 lap down. Montgomery will now head down the pit lane. And the only car left out there yet to pit is Haceta, 10 seconds ahead of Lacey. He's still saving fuel. We can hear him letting all the way out, clutching it through the corners, trying to save as much as he can. I think Lacey's going to trap Cronenwick a lap down here. Enzo on the fuel strategy. He's lost another second. 9 seconds now, the advantage. This Brayton Laster also yet to pit, currently in the 4th position as James Fox will drive by. Quentin Clark right behind, and Garrett Fox right behind him. So Brayton Laster looks like he may be heading to the pit lane this time. Now he'll stay out, but he is in hardcore saving fuel mode. Cronowet trying to run down Lacey. He ain't letting him go. He knows he's got to get back around him. Try and get back on the lead lap. That's if Enzo doesn't run out of fuel. You can see Cronowet driving it down into the corner hard. James Fox not too far behind these guys. If the 24 McCarthy can get around this 14, that'll help Cronowet. He'll be the first car lap down. Enzo heavy save mode. So McCarthy will get back on the lead lap. Can Lacey reel in Haseda in 2.5 laps? 5.5 seconds back. Haseda, though, at least 4/10, 5/10 slower a lap. That's not going to be enough. I said I'm going to have to make it 2 more laps on fuel. Very easy on the throttle. He big time save mode, clutching it way early. This will be white flag for the stage. Can Haseda make it back around? And then at that point, will he run out of fuel? I think he's out of fuel. Haseda out of fuel down on the inside. Wasn't able to make it. So close. Landon Lacey will get by. James Fox drove right up to the back bumper, but this will be the end of the stage, and Landon Lacey will win the stage. James Fox second, Garrett Fox third, Quinn Clark fourth. Haseda hasn't come across yet. Jason Blaney's going to be fifth. Haseda will end up in 7th position. Try and figure up these points. Haseda was 7th. And that will be the end of stage one. Try and figure up some of these points here. McCarthy, no stage points on that first round. Wesley Jeanette will be the first one out of the pit lane. Brandon Browning second, McCarthy in third. I believe they may have all stayed out right there. Trying to get some these points settled for round two so we can keep up with it as we go. So we've got Lacey with 579. Actually, it'll be 580. I believe he led a lap, so he should get an extra point for that. 580. James Fox with 570. 571, excuse me. He also led a lap there. Then McCarthy. She's got 568. And that's when it starts to get pretty tight. Garrett Fox will have 560. Wesley Jeanette at 557. Grills and Browning both have 555, but Blaney has 556. Clark's got 559. We're getting ready to go. Green flag, Wesley Jeanette. He leads a lap there. That'll be another point for him. So 558 for him. And he will lead us off down to turn one. McCarthy sends it in. Oh no, Lacey gets into his teammate, Brandon Browning. Caution on the speedway. A lot of damage for those two race cars. We take a look slow-mo here. Oh, there actually looks like could be quite a bit of net code. You see these cars actually never actually touch. 53 sends the 48 around, but that looked to be net code. Net code kind of bad on these new race cars. But that sends the 53 and the 48. Big damage, though, to your teammates is certainly not intentional. And now they'll have to come down and get some damage repaired. A 33 will get a lap back. McCarthy and Lacey all come down the pit lane. McCarthy missed the pit, had to back up. Jeanette will stay out there. Wesley Jeanette will come down the second time around. I think everybody pitting now would probably be able to make it to the end. Landon Lacey back in to top off. Nathan Line in that time. Matthew Montgomery, Brayton Laster all in. High Seta comes down to get some fuel. Bartholomew in. So we may see some pit strategy here pay off for Wesley Jeanette. Some of these drivers that just pitted. McCarthy, she took a set of tires there, so she'll have slightly better tires than some of these drivers. Based on my math, we've got Lacey at 580, Fox 571, McCarthy at 568, Garrett Fox 560, Clark 559, Jeanette 558, Blaney 556. He's currently the last car in. Simon Grills will be out by 1 point, 555. Browning also 555. Brown with 536 and High Set at 513. So we'll see how stage 2 plays out. Then it'll be down to a race to the end. James Fox getting out front, trying to settle his score with a win, an automatic advancement. Fox with a good restart. He'll get out to a big advantage over Garrett Fox in second. And James Fox very quick. He was running down Landon Lacey at the end of that first stage. Garrett Fox, though, right back to the back bumper. Garrett Fox not able to get enough of a run there. Simon Grills there in the number 8. In the third position, trying to find his way up to get at least a lap led here. Quentin Clark, though, right behind him in fourth. Adam Brown with a big move on the inside of Jason Blaney. Landon Lacey back to the top 10, but taking it easy as he's already used that fast repair. Clark trying to take it to the outside of Grills for the third position. Gets a great run down the backstretch, and he's going to take it down into 3. Clark muscling his way back into the top 3 now. Garrett Fox trying to reel in the 58. This type of racetrack just suits James Fox very well. Able to hug that bottom line. Browning back down the pit lane as he tried not to take a fast repair, but it was causing some issues, was well off the pace, so he'll come in. Had to back up a little bit. He'll have to take the fast repair, and he'll take a set of tires, but in the process, he's going to fall a lap down. So championship implications for Brandon Browning as he is currently 1 point out. And he's going to need some luck to try and get back into this thing before the end of the stage. Trying not to fall 2 laps down as James Fox now entering turn 1. Fox setting quite the pace. Going back through the field, Kayla McCarthy's made her way up. Blaney up on the outside wall. Landon Lacey getting around on the inside. Cronowet trying to find his way through, but not able to get there. Blaney back down to the inside of Lacey. Blaney knows he needs as many stage points as he can get. Blaney right there trying to get a side draft on the 88, but that's not going to be able to work as Cronenwet with a big run off the corner. And actually, Jeanette gets a pretty good run too, but has to hold that 10th position. Can't quite get to the bumper of Blaney. Blaney sending it out to that outside wall. Looks like his car very tight right now. Adam Brown gets sideways, has to let out of it. Go back and take a look at what happened here with Adam Brown. Old Simon Grills lost some momentum. They went 3 wide. Brown just chose to back out of it. Brown basically in a must-win situation. About 20 points below the cut line. Simon Grills slowly fading backwards. Just needs to worry about saving these tires. Maybe he can get a couple of these drivers back on the back end of this run. Cronenwet trying to get around Kayla McCarthy. These two have a history, so we'll see how well Cronenwet's able to get by her, as he looks to be a little bit faster right now. The battle for second is on. Clark down to the inside of Garrett Fox. Clark, when they came into this race, was on the outside looking in by a few points. But right now, my math has him in by about 4. And he's won as many stage points in this second stage as possible. We're halfway through the stage and halfway through the race. 75 of 150, 25 of 50 in this stage. 25 laps to go until we dish out some more of these points. We get a little more drama. Then it'll be down to the home stretch, but Garrett Fox able to hold off the 94 as Landon Lacey now comes into the picture. James Fox trying to get away from this group before Landon Lacey gets through, hoping Lacey will get held up here. Lacey with a big run on exit. Clark, excuse me, up to the outside of Fox, side by side for that second position. Ken Clark holding up speed. Oh, they'll almost get door to door. They do touch. And Clark with a big run down the backstretch. Not going to be able to clear Fox, though, as they head down into turn 3. The 85 holding strong on the bottom. Lacey looking to maybe make it 3 wide here as he gets close to the back bumper of the 94. Those two teammates, Lacey trying to give the draft to that 94 down these straightaways. Oh, the 85 hits the apron and washes up the track. Almost hits the 94, but able to keep it off of him. Clark will get around into the second position. Lacey now, he'll try and get around the outside of Garrett Fox. And James Fox pulls out to a 2.5 second lead as these drivers racing hard. The 8 of Grills had to pit there, and that will put him 2 laps down. So another one of our playoff drivers with an issue. Simon Grills will now go 2 laps down. Quinn Clark there in the second spot. Lacey still having to fend off Garrett Fox as Quentin Clark will head down the pit lane. Green flag pit stops. The 94 will make it there inside of those yellow cones. So green flag pit stop for Quentin Clark. Now we know Hyseta, some of these drivers were very close on fuel at the end of that first run. Some of those drivers that pitted under that first caution, if they try and save, should be able to make it, but it may be close. Quentin Clark will pull into his pit stall. Takes a set of tires. James Fox still out front. Landon Lacey's in the second spot. $18 laps to the end of the stage. Who's going to try and stretch it to make it to the end? Lacey right now fastest on track. Actually slightly slower than both James Fox and Garrett Fox that time around. Cronwet has been able to get around McCarthy, but McCarthy has not let that bumper go. McCarthy will get back down to the inside. She's going to try and pass for that fourth position. Lacey still reeling in the leader, Wesley Jeanette. We know he was one that pitted a little later. Pit strategy, we'll take a look. Lacey's been out there 27 laps. McCarthy 28, Jeanette 27. Montgomery's also on the lead lap, 26 laps for Montgomery. So some of these drivers might be able to make it. It's going to be very close. We've seen Hyseta on that first stint made it almost 50 laps, but that was with some incredible fuel saving. So we'll see if some of these other drivers push it with only 13 to go. That'd be about 41 laps. They should be able to make it. So we will see. Grill's able to get to the inside of James Fox. They'll get one of his laps back. We think both James Fox and Garrett Fox will probably have to pit, but they haven't indicated that they're going to be going in anytime soon. McCarthy pulling away from Cronowet, so it kind of makes you think that maybe Cronowet's trying to save a little fuel. He's not downshifting into fourth. Yeah, saving fuel for Gary Cronowet, the number 88. But Jason Blaney will go by for fifth. Wesley Jeanette right behind. He's going to try and get down to the inside of Cronwet in through 1 and 2. It's 10 to go. James Fox still out on the racetrack. 2-second advantage right now over Landon Lacey. Let's go see what he's doing, any type of fuel saving. He's just keeping it in 5th gear. So no downshifting right now for James Fox. He's got 5 laps less fuel than Landon Lacey, so Lacey probably pushing to catch James Fox. Looks like he's just staying in 5th gear as well. And a big race would be for that first car lap down right now. Enzo Haceta's got it. He's coming off of turn 4. Right behind him, Braden Lasser and Quentin Clark, one of our playoff contenders. He's in 12th right now. He's hoping some of these other drivers run out of fuel, as he was one that chose to pit. McCarthy, she seems to be still pushing it kind of hard. 7 seconds off the lead, but she's reeling in James Fox. James Fox may be backing it down to try and make sure he can make it to the end of the stage. Lacey reeling him in quick. Fox seems to be very slow down the backstretch. So I believe Fox is going to be very close on fuel. James Fox just going to let Lacey by, not racing, as he is on fuel save mode. We take a look at the pit strategy once again. Lacey, McCarthy, and Jeanette all with an advantage right now. 5-lap advantage on fuel. McCarthy pushing hard. She's up to 4th. Blaney's having to save. He's back in 5th. Jeanette, he's on the move. He's trying to catch Blaney. And Fox will have to pit. Both James Fox and Garrett Fox not able to make it. End up 3 laps short. Now will they go a lap down? Will it be a fuel only just to get out, try and stay out in front of the 53? But he's coming off the corner right now. So 2 playoff contenders that were running 1st and 2nd for a long time in this race. They are taking fuel only, but they're going to go a lap down. So now they're going to be racing for the first car lap down. They're going to have to try and stay in front of Enzo. I believe they'll be able to do it, but only one of these cars is going to be able to get that wave around. Lap 99, Landon Lacey out front, and he's going to come around to take the white flag. McCarthy, after having a very bad stage 1, able to have a very good stage 2. In second position is Adam Brown. Will have to come down and he'll pit. And the 56 down as well. But off turn 4, Landon Lacey will come around to win. And a lot of cars, a lot of good cars, going to be trapped a lap down. So Lacey will get 10 points there. McCarthy's still out there. She'll end up in second. Blaney will come home in third. It looks like he might be out of fuel. But he needed those points. Jeanette will be fourth position. Fifth is Cronin Wet. Montgomery is sixth. Seventh is Garrett Fox. James Fox in eighth. Ninth is Enzo Haceta. And 10th, Quentin Clark will get 1 point out of that. So that's going to shuffle these standings once again, big time. As Quentin Clark, I think he's going to be trapped a lap down here, as well as the 58 of James Fox may be trapped a lap down as well. We'll take a look. Who's going to pit here? So it may be difficult for some of these drivers outside of the cut line. As Lacey will be back out of the pit lane. Right now the 58 of James Fox stays out. Going to try and get a wave around. We'll see if he takes the wave around, and he'll have to pit. That'd probably be the way to go. I think everybody's going to have to pit on this last round. But if he pits here, then he will be stuck one lap down. A lot of drivers taking the wave around here. No, the 58 chooses to pit. So right now we've got, according to my math, Lacey at 590, McCarthy at 577, James Fox at 574, Wesley Jeanette at 565. Garrett Fox and Jason Blaney at 564. And the last one in right now, Quentin Clark at 560. And then on the outside looking in, Grills at 555, Browning at 555, Brown at 536, and Hysette at 515. It's going to be interesting to see here at the end if Grills, Browning, or Brown's going to be able to get back Some of these drivers taking the wave around. Browning goes around. Quentin Clark will take the wave around to get back on the lead lap. James Fox, though, will be stuck one lap down in 11th position. He's hoping for a caution. And I think the smart move there was to take the wave around, because everyone's going to have to pit in this last segment anyway. Garrett Fox is in 6th, and here comes all the cars to just take the wave around. Simon Grills will come in and pit. One, two, three, and 4. We'll see. Simon Grills taking a set of tires, but everyone's going to be going green here, so that's going to help James Fox. As Landon Lacey will lead him out. Lacey with a great run through 1 and 2. He may try and let McCarthy lead a lap here, but McCarthy should be good to go, barring some sort of catastrophic wreck and that knocks her out of this race. Cronowet, we haven't talked about him a whole lot since his wreck earlier in this race, but he's able to make his way back up to the 3rd position now. Having a good run back through the field. Wesley Jeanette up to the 4th position. Montgomery in the 2 was able to stay out long enough to stay on the lead lap. Blaney with an issue, and those are going to be big implications as he's in the pit lane 5 laps down. So not sure what's happened to Jason Blaney. Don't see anything that would have caused an issue, but he is in the pit lane. So big implication there for Blaney as he continues to fall back, and it looks like he's going to lose at least 2 more positions and end up in 17th position. And he was right there on the cusp. 9 points. The advantage over Grills. Grills, though, 2 laps down in 14th, so I don't think Grills is going to pass him. Browning's in 8th. So with Blaney probably falling to 17th here, whatever that issue was, I believe it has taken Jason Blaney completely out of this race. So Blaney will fall all the way back to last, and now it's going to be down to Brandon Browning. And he was 9 points behind Jason Blaney, so he's going to have to score, I think, at least 8th position here, as he's going to come in and take his pit stop. He should be able to make it to the end from here. We've seen a lot of green flag racing, but if he gets caught a lap down, that could be detrimental. But he is in the 8th position. May have an advantage on tires. We'll see. Cronowet's moved into the 2nd position around McCarthy. Browning down in 12th. That would not be enough to get around Blaney. Quentin Clark will come in to take his pit stop now in that number 94. Another one looking to try and take an advantage of the tires on the earlier part of the run. We'll see if anybody else chooses to take their pit stop anytime soon. I think if I'm James Fox, I'm probably trying to save some fuel to try and make it to the end. If he could finish ahead of some of these drivers that are pitting, that'd be good. But I think he should be good. I don't think he'll be able to fall out. I don't think anybody can mathematically catch him unless somebody gets up here and wins this race. Whichever one that really could win this race and move on are all at least one lap down right now. Wesley Jeanette looking good, running in the 5th spot. He's had a phenomenal day. We are down to the closing stages. Cronowet doing his best to reel in our leader. Landon Lacey, there he is. It's Cronowet a little bit quicker that lap, picks up almost 2/10. So Browning pitting a few laps before Clark. He's able to move up to the 11th position, and Clark will move back to 12th. That's the gap. Browning's going to have to hold that position. I think he's going to have to finish at least 8th, 7th to be safe to try and advance Brandon Brownings, who we're talking about. As he is 9 points behind Blaney, who has gone out of the race. Number 22, no, he's back in, but he is 13 laps down. So some sort of, must have been a computer issue for Jason Blaney. But he'll get back out there to someone wrecks out of this race or falls out. Every position that he can gain is going to put a little more pressure on Browning to try and get one more spot. Lacey still hanging on in front of Cronowet, but Cronowet up another 2/10, only 0.34 the advantage right now, as Cronowet is in the draft of the 53. That's helping him down the straightaways. And here comes the 53 of Lacey taking his pit stop. Oh, he locks him up after that yellow cones. We'll see if that was enough. Or will he have a pit penalty? I'd say he's probably pretty safe. Landon Lacey pretty aggressive on the pit entry, but Cronowet will get out front. Now McCarthy in. She'll take her pit stop. 27 laps to go. I think James Fox, if he can save fuel from that initial stop, I think being the only car lap down, that's what I would have done. But he is pushing hard to try and catch this 88 to get back on to the lead lap. Brandon Browning's up to 11th. These drivers that are pitted, he's not been able to pass them. As we're nearing the end of this race, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Gadgit Solutions, the lead sponsor for this league, the Gadgit Solutions Next Gen Cup Series. Cronwet Motorsports, go check them out on Facebook. iRacing Extreme Figure 8 Racing, also check them out on Facebook. That's a real fun thing. Was able to call one of their races and it was extremely exciting. Patriot Auto Solutions, go check them out on Instagram or Facebook, Patriot Auto Solutions. And to give a checkup on that Patriot Auto Solutions car, Simon Grill's 13th, and he is 2 laps down. A lot of these drivers that have already pitted are ahead of him. So Simon Grills, don't think he's going to be able to make it into the next round. He would need a lot of help. As now he'll fall, I believe, 3 laps down to Landon Lacey. Actually, Lacey had already pitted. He's 8th. Cronwet trying to make it last as long as he can. Enzo Haceta, he's given his best effort today. He's currently sitting in the 6th position. Second car 1 lap down, driving for Blaster Motorsports. And you check out Blaster Motorsports on Facebook. Brayton Laster's got a lot of cool things that he's doing in his racing career. And definitely go check out Brayton Laster Motorsports. And Tunney's Auto Service. Make sure you check out Tunney'sAuto.com. Thank you to all the sponsors, as well as Lefevre's Curbing, who sponsors our Victory Lane celebration. Back up front, Gary Cronwet in the lead. Montgomery right behind him. I think Cronwet trying to save fuel and make it to the end. Yeah, he is letting off into the corner. So Cronwet saving fuel, trying to make it to the end and win this thing on fuel strategy. Matthew Montgomery trying to get up here and lead a lap. Garrett Fox up to the 3rd position. We take a look at the pit strategy. Cronwet trying to make it another 21 laps. Garrett Fox, he topped off with fuel. These drivers that are pitted, there was a 3-way battle for the lead there for a second. As Landon Lacey drives by on the high side with fresh tires. And this is a 4-way battle for the lead. Wesley Jeanette up there as well. And take a look once again at the top 4. Fuel strategy all 28, 29 laps ago. As Garrett Fox will take the lead. He's got a slight advantage as he went back in and topped off with fuel. So that's the question, is who's going to be able to make it to the end? Garrett, Fox, Cronowet, Montgomery, and Jeanette all very close on fuel. Fox must believe that he has enough of an advantage to try and drive away the rest of these drivers. We know Garrett Fox was about 2 laps short on that last stage. And that was a 45 lap run that he ended up being 2 laps short. And right now, he's going to have to make it that extra 2 laps, 47 laps, to try and make it to the end. So Garrett Fox needs to be in fuel save mode. Right now, just trying to pull as much of a gap as he can. As you see, Cronowet right against that outside wall. Wesley Jeanette went ahead and chose to pit. Didn't think he was going to make it. Browning's up to 10th. He's going to have to gain, I believe, 2 more spots to try and make it into the championship. So Wesley Jeanette will pull out into 12th position, 2 laps down. Garrett Fox right now 2-second advantage over Matthew Montgomery in second. Cronowet is hard on the fuel save mode. Makes me believe that Fox and Montgomery are probably not going to be able to make it to the end. And Quentin Clark, teammates with Brandon Browning, was able to drive down Browning and get around him, which that was what put Browning into the 10th position. And I think it's extremely close. I'm not sure that they know as teammates, if they know the point situation. It's hard to keep up with. I'm not exactly sure that I'm 100% accurate here, as it is hard to keep up with mental math as you're driving through these races in multiple stages. Clark good to go though. Browning doing his best to try and get back by. Garrett Fox now out there with a 3-second advantage. Cronowet 7 seconds back. He is big time on fuel save and knows that James Fox is the next car. And looking at who's pitted and who hasn't, I think James Fox may have to pit before this race is over. And that may give Browning 1 more position. But that may leave him 1 spot short of making it. Garrett Fox continuing to lay down hot laps right now as he is 4 seconds, almost 4.5 seconds over Montgomery. There goes James Fox into the pit lane. And the 85 of Garrett Fox, our leader, will pit as well. So now I have to see where these two drivers come out in comparison to Brandon Browning. Browning's already able to get around James Fox. That'll move him up to 9th, but will he be able to catch Garrett Fox? Garrett has a issue in the pit lane. Fuel only, though, for the 85. 8 to go. He'll come out. He's in 5th right now. 48 coming down the front stretch. Bartholomew's still out there, but 10 laps down. If Blaney could find a way to get around William Bartholomew, then that would put a lot more pressure on Browning. Browning right now in the 8th position as Adam Brown had to pit. Montgomery up front. That is your leader right there, the number 2. Cronowet reeling him in. And Montgomery trying to save enough fuel to make it to the end. Cronowet has put himself in a great position. I think with the way they're running right now, Browning moves up to 7th, though. Able to get around Enzo, so that should put Browning in by 1 point. Into that final 8th position. Blaney 12 laps down, a computer issue. I think that's going to eliminate him unless Brandon Browning has an issue in these final 3 laps. Montgomery doing his best to save enough fuel but still be fast enough to beat Cronowet. 3 laps to go. They're going to come around this time to take 2 to go. Cronowet right behind him. Oh, a car, the Bartholomew wrecks and hits the outside wall hard. 2 to go, no caution yet. And the 15 will tow. That's very interesting because Blaney had to pass him. Blaney's still out there on the racetrack, was able to log back in. Once he passes Bartholomew, that's going to tie him with Browning. The question is, can Browning get back around Clark? As the race for the lead heats up. Cronowet able to save that fuel. He'll drive right by Montgomery, who's in heavy save mode to try and make it 1 more lap. Gary Cronowet, your leader. Not sure what the tiebreaker is for this series, but according to my math, Blaney and Browning are going to be tied for that 8th position. So we'll see. It looks like the 2 of Montgomery has run out of fuel. And can he get across the line before Browning catches him? Cronowet will win the race. Montgomery out of fuel. And right there, Browning will pass the 2, move into the 6th position, and Browning, as they come on turn 4, that 1 extra position should give him enough points to take that 8th place. Interesting finish as Bartholomew Rex puts Blaney up a spot. Now Browning's got to get a spot. Then Montgomery runs out of fuel. Browning passes him out of 4. To put him into the next round as Gary Cronowet's burning it down on the front stretch with another win this season. A very successful season so far for Gary Cronowet. He's had some bad luck, but he is getting that off his back-to-back wins here in the first round of the playoffs. Cronowet, your winner. McCarthy will end up 3rd. And Landon Lacey into the 2nd position. As we'll try and get a word from some of our top finishers. Kayla McCarthy, first up on the board. Let's get our victory lane. Lefever's Landscape Curbing. Go check out Lefever's Landscapes Curbing. There are our victory lane sponsor, but 3rd place, Kayla McCarthy. Let's see if we can get a word with Kayla. Hey, Kayla, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Hey, it looks like maybe you were struggling there in the first stage, but man, what a bounce back in the 2nd stage to get a lot of stage points and then a great finish here at the end. You come home 3rd. How did this car handle on this concrete Nashville Superspeedway?
I tell you what, it's nothing like I remember it before the update, but overall, I just made too many mistakes tonight. Gary and I were actually on the same strategy, and then I looked and once again just realized that I made too many mistakes. So other than that, it was a fun night, good points tonight. We should be, I think we came in here pretty close to locked in, so hopefully the rest of the Filthy Five guys can get in. I know Landon's already locked in based on his points. But hopefully Quentin and Brandon were able to get their way in points-wise, too.
Yeah, based on my math, I think they both made it, but it was very close for Browning. Yeah, a fantastic race. Going into the next round, you're definitely locked in this one. But going into that 2nd round, we've got Talladega and Charlotte. What are your thoughts about those tracks? You like the Superspeedway, and that Charlotte is the Roval, so a big... 2 monkey wrenches there, Talladega and the Roval.
Yeah, it'd be really nice to go through and just win Dega and not have to worry about the Roval. I'm familiar with the Roval. I'm okay with it. A lot better than I was with the Indianapolis road course. So if we can get a top five at Dega and stage points, and then top 5 of the Roval, we should lock our way in through the rest of the races for the playoffs. So ultimately, the goal is to win it. So try and go on that, but you got to be there at the end to get there.
Yeah, well, fantastic run today. You got anybody you'd like to shout out or give a thank you to today?
Yeah, I got to give a big shout out to my wife. She's had a stressful couple of days with work and everything, and I told her I wouldn't race tonight, and she ended up letting me race because she saw how antsy I was getting. So shout out to her, all my teammates, Landon, Quentin, Brandon, everybody that helps put time into this for me. Couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, we're definitely appreciative of our spouses letting us get on here and do some iRacing. So big shout out to her, and a great job tonight, Kayla, and we'll see you in the next round.
10-4, thank you.
That was 3rd place finisher Kayla McCarthy. Landon Lacey comes home 2nd spot. Let's get a word with Landon. Hey, Landon, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
I think hands down you were one of the fastest, really between you and Gary as to who was the fastest. But man, a phenomenal race. What are your thoughts here on the next gen at Nashville Superspeedway and this update that they just recently did? Was it a kind of a monkey wrench here on this new speedway?
You know, to be honest with you, it kind of gets back to the way I like to drive. I like a race car that you actually have to, you know, put a little bit more effort in to drive it. So I think, you know, the overall change on the next gen car has been a positive for me. I think we still need to work on a little bit of the setup building for this new car. I mean, to be honest though, on the long run, the setup was great. Um, but I think there's a couple things that we could do for the short run. But other than that, came down to fuel strategy, and I'm never good at fuel strategy.
Did you think that Cronowet was going to be able to save enough to make it to the end? You were definitely the leader of the ones that had pitted.
Yeah, I figured with as hard as he was running, because he wasn't that far behind me through the first half of that last stage. I figured with the pace that he was going that he was going to be in the same boat as me and he wasn't going to be able to make it. And I actually tried short pitting even more just in case he did try to save, which he ended up saving enough to make it. But I kind of short pitted to see if he did save, if I would be able to run him back down. Clearly not enough time.
Well, this first round we saw Las Vegas and Nashville Superspeedway. Two tracks, kind of not too many surprises there, but we go into that next round with Talladega and the Roval. What are your thoughts on those two tracks and getting into that championship 4?
Talladega is going to be. It's going to be. I feel like we're going to have a really good race there, but it's just gonna. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you could be having a good race one moment, and the next thing you're getting hooked in the outside wall because something else happened behind you. But I think a good opportunity for us is going to be the Roval. Very, very strong at road courses. So can't wait to get there, and really looking forward to Phoenix as well.
Well, a great race tonight. You're definitely locked into that next round. You got anybody you'd like to thank after this one?
Yeah, shout out to Edge Setup Shop for everything they do. Martin Sports. Like to thank all my teammates over at Filthy 5 Motorsports. Charge Racing. Thank you to Competition Designs. Thank you to the admins and Garrett and all those guys that helped put this on. Thank you for the broadcast. And other than that, thank you to everybody that's gotten me here to this point.
All right, we'll see you in the next round, Landon. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
There's Landon Lacey, second place. Now on to our winner back-to-back Victory Lane interviews for Gary Cronowet. Hey, Gary, this is Dakota in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Hey, doing good, man. We saw you there in that first stage. Something happened. You got sideways and wrecked, and somehow no caution on that. You end up, I think, went a lap down at one point, but you drive your way back through. Some fuel strategy there at the end, and you come home with this win. What did the car drive like, and how was you able to get back to the lead at the end?
Well, it was interesting for sure. These are the first laps I've turned at this track, especially with the setup. Excuse me. And that first stage, I'm like, I just want to see what it has. I had Landon behind me. It was nice to pick up the pole. So shout out to my wheel, because it's not a setup. I don't set my car up. So I figured if I try to go for it, see what happens, and then the wheel, I just turned a little bit too much right and overcorrected the wheels hooked and set me in the wall. And I was able to hold it down or hold it up on the track. I didn't want to get anybody else. But that kind of set me back. This whole race, I had a plan going in, what I was going to do, and then after that, I had to change my plan and try to get off strategy with everybody else, and somehow it worked.
Yeah, it's kind of like boxing. Everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. But you get punched in the face, and man, what a recovery to save that fuel at the end. We saw you doing a lot of fuel saving. Did you think you were going to be able to make it to the end, and just how close were you there at the end?
Yeah, I didn't know, honestly. That second stage, I was going in when I got my lap back, and I said, you know what, I'm going to try to save fuel right now, and because we had split up in 50-lap stages, and I'm going to see what we have. So that second stage, I was 3 laps good when the stage ended, so that was nice and relieving. Starting to stage 3, I was running with Landon there, which, man, hats off to him. He is fast every week, week in and week out. He's the guy to beat every week, and my hat's off to him. As soon as he started checking out a little bit, then I just told myself, let's jump back on the fuel, let's save a little bit, save and save and save. I seen a couple more people pit, and then I just put it on double save mode, and by the end of that at the white flag, I was 1.6 to the good. So I crossed the finish line 0.7 to the good. So that it worked out in my favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this first round, Las Vegas and Nashville Superspeedway, you get 2 wins. I think you're going to get some bonus points for that going into the next round. But Talladega and the Roval in that next round, way different than the style of tracks that we went through in this first round. What do you think your chances are to get into that championship 4? No, we've got two monkey wrenches in this next round.
I mean, I'm optimistic right now. It's going to be hard, Talladega. I'm not a big road course guy. I'll say it first and foremost, but it's all about survival now. 2 tracks, 2 chances to get caught up in something and potentially put you out of the Final 4. So I'm just looking at consistency, and with these 2 wins starting off the playoffs, it's really going for us right now, and we just got to keep this momentum up.
Absolutely. Well, a great run. You got anybody you'd like to thank after this one, Gary?
Actually, yes, I do. First and foremost, my wife at home, allowing me to do this every Tuesday, and being able to put up with my crap every now and then. Big hats off to her. Hats off to her. I love you. I'd like to thank my teammate Ryan. He's watching, of course, at home. Thank you for everything you do and striving me to be better. I'd like to thank CMS Motorsports, TWU Local 2051, H&M Transporting LLC, and just everybody in this league, Garrett, the competitors, you up in the broadcast booth, Dakota, thank you. And, so we'll go on to next week.
Absolutely. Well, good luck in the next round, and maybe we'll be talking to you a couple more times before the season's over.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
That was your winner, Gary Cronenwet. A phenomenal run in this first round. I believe I think, and we'll have to double check this. Of course, anything I say is not legal tender, as they say. But I believe it's going to be Cronenwet, Lacey, James Fox, McCarthy, Garrett Fox, Quentin Clark, Wesley Jeanette, and Brandon Browning. It will be your final 8. Jason Blaney, Grills, Brown, and Haseta all eliminated based on my math. But we'll see according to what the league puts up. But a great race nonetheless. And appreciate you for tuning in. On Sunday, we'll be going live from the Gathering Place on their church service. So tune in there. And we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us all night. And a great job to Gary Cronenwet on back-to-back victories. And we will see you all next week when we head to Talladega. So y'all have a good one.